under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, this is not going nice.
That's why I said.
Super too low.
That deal don't come along with that. It's actually the one.
Roll call, please. Thanks.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Human,
Yes.
Lentine,
Here.
Lewis, Morgan,
Yes.
O'Toole.
Here.
That's the motion to excuse councilperson Juanita Lewis from tonight's meeting.
Second the motion.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Human,
Yes.
Lentine,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Okay. Entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Human,
Yes.
Lentine,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
We will move to reports. Mayor, do you have a report?
Yes, Madam President. A couple of things. We did sign the contract with the YMCA last week. The pool is getting its last touch-ups of paint, and we're going to be starting to fill the pool early next week. And the other item is that we did have a very successful Memorial Day ceremony. There was many great comments, and everybody in attendance was very happy that we continued the tradition. That concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Fire Chief Newman.
Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roach, members of council, members of the audience. Just a couple items this evening. I'd just like to announce that a Heart Saver CPR course will be held at the Richmond Heights Fire Station on Monday, June 22nd from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Our Division of Fire, in partnership with University Hospital Richmond Medical Center, offers the bi-monthly CPR courses to residents of Richmond Heights. The Heart Saver CPR AED course is a classroom video-based instructor-led course that teaches adult CPR and AED use, as well as how to relieve choking in an adult. Anyone who's interested can call me direct at 216-383-6304. Class size is limited to 12 students per class. These classes are free to citizens of Richmond Heights. This course is for the general public. It is not the healthcare provider course. Another item, earlier today I was contacted by Travel Channel Media and Painless Television Incorporated, and notified that they'll be filming an episode of a TV series called The Dead Files in the Richmond Heights area. They are requesting an interview with me by the host, Steve DeShivey, about a 1934 fire that took place in the area. On The Dead Files, physical medium Amy Allen and retired New York Police Department homicide detective Steve DeShivey combine their efforts to solve unexplained paranormal phenomena in haunted locations across America. Filming is expected to begin the week of June 15th. I can give you a little background on the fire if you like. The fire occurred in 1934. It was the Mary White Lander home. On March 4th, 1934, an oil company was filling neighborhood gas tanks. Didn't notice that the tanks were overflowing. The leaking gas ignited and destroyed much of the Forest White fruit farm on the property. Mary White Lander, who was the wife of one of the original landowners, Francis White, passed away at age 76 due to complications from smoke inhalation from the fire. It destroyed the family home that she had lived in since the 1890s. So that's scheduled to happen the second week of June. I'll be sending some of the documents that the production company sent me asking for consent to film us in one of our public safety buildings. With
Do you
that-
know how long they're going to be filming?
They stated they will be in and out within a week. They'll start on the 15th. They plan to wrap by about the 20th.
Thank you.
They've done a lot of research, so they have a lot of the groundwork already accomplished for it.
So will that affect our traffic or anything?
No.
Good, thank you. Do you know which ghost they're looking for?
No, but I certainly will keep you apprised as I learn more.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna get this straight now. Police Chief Rowe.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you.
This Thursday, our new 911 system is going to be online. It was, the equipment was purchased through with 911 money from Cuyahoga County, so we didn't spend any money for it. It will replace our old Positron 911 system, which is probably close to 15 years old. The new system is obviously much better than what we have. It'll provide us with mapping, which we don't currently have, of 911 calls when they come in. It also integrates our CAD system into it, and it will provide some redundant recording for our voice logger, at least for 911 calls anyway. It's taken a bit of a time to come. They originally announced they wanted to replace the aging 911 systems for departments in Cuyahoga County back in 2012. So it's taken about 3 years to come to fruition. We are probably one of the first dozen centers to get the new system. They tried the best they could to replace the oldest ones first. Also, I had mentioned a program that was inspired by Carl Carter and his motorcycle group, the Buffalo Soldiers, presenting a program to the community and the school titled "What to Do If You're Stopped by the Police." We modified that a little bit for the school program and just basically said what to do if you have contact with the police. And we did cover traffic stops with the 10th and 11th graders, because a few of them are driving or will be soon, but the 7th, 8th, and 9th graders was a little bit over their head. But we just talked about things like things that you have to do when the police ask you questions, and some things that you're not required to do. Unfortunately, 3 of the panel members could not make it. There was a representative from the FBI, Lisa Kalman. She had to cancel because the FBI is working on the plans, security plans for Al Sharpton. I understand he's coming into town Friday, so there's a lot of planning going on related to that. And both our Highway Patrol representative and our Sheriff's Department representative were not able to attend either because of the planning and staging that's going on relative to the Grillo decision that was announced on Saturday. So we had kind of a slimmed down group, but I think it was effective. I think it was a good program, and something that I think would be more effective if we could do it to smaller groups. Perhaps next school year we might want to think about doing that on a per class basis, as opposed to 3 entire classes at a time. There was really a lot of time. The first class was about 45 minutes, the second one about 35 minutes, so that went pretty fast.
Why did it take that amount of time? Were they asking questions, or?
No, we didn't really have any time for questions and answers.
Oh, really? You had to try to put everything in?
Yeah. And of course, if we did, we were going to narrow it to basically what the material that was presented. We didn't want to get into a situation where, people are asking about particular or specific situations that have happened or that are ongoing, or somebody saying, well, my friend one time, blah, 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 blah. So we wanted to stay away.
So you were able to hold their attention?
For the most part. I mean, you could see some of them were a bit disinterested, but especially when I was talking. But,
Are you just saying you felt that, or just you know that they were not interested in hearing what you're saying? I mean, because I
Yeah.
had heard sometimes there's a problem keeping their attention.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, most of them, I think, were pretty attentive, and the superintendent, basically explained to them that, we have guests in the building and that they were expected to carry themselves a certain way. But there were some, and I think it would have been interesting to see what type of questions would have been asked. But again, I pretty much ran out of time. I think it'd be a good community program to do, though, with a little bit more time allotted.
great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you going over to do that. Yes? Mr.
Crazy
O'Toole?
question. A number of people have told me that if a person dials 911, the phone call gets routed somewhere far away and comes back into the city and takes more time versus calling 486-1234. Will this new system that we're incorporating reduce the amount of call time for a response from the police department, or?
I'm
Well,
not-
first of all, is what they're saying, is that true or not?
Well, the actual, and I don't remember exactly, I think it's in Michigan or something, the actual database for all of the 911 numbers, phone numbers, and that is not located in the state. There is a connection.
Right.
That's been the case since its inception.
Right.
The only other issue is our cellular phone calls, which go default to the county, and then the county has to forward them to the municipality.
Will this new system improve upon that, or?
No, my understanding is that's not something that we will address.
Will they be, I'm sorry, now that you have my interest, will they be able to attach the mapping from CCOM to us?
No, that won't be necessary. The problem, they came up with a system several years ago where they tried to do that, and it was very ineffective. So by the time our dispatchers would actually get a map, chances are, especially if that call was moving, you wouldn't really know where it is. So now the dispatchers will actually have a screen when that phone rings. Our city map comes up and it'll show where that call is coming from.
Even if it's a cellular phone?
No, cellular
Oh,
phone.
cellular phone's still a problem.
Any more, Chief? Thank you very much. Building Inspector, Phil Seabolt?
Thank you,
I'm
Council
sorry,
President.
Building Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Council President Henry, Mayor Roach, and members of council. Just two brief things that I would like to report. The first is, again, in relation to the door barricade issue. There will be another public hearing on June 5th, which is a week from Friday, and I will be going down there again, as I've reported in the Council of the Whole, to testify at that hearing. In preparation for that, Chief Newman and myself met last week at some length with Russell White of the Richmond Heights Schools, and we also met at the same time with a local door hardware expert from Cleveland Vicon, and we walked the school and looked at doors and talked about their operation and their hardware. And the gist of the conversation, I think, was that Mr. White agreed with council and agreed with your resolution, and thought that it would be a very bad idea to use impromptu door barricades on any of their doors. Most of their doors, classroom doors, do open out, so you couldn't possibly stack anything or push anything against the door to prevent it from opening. They do have a procedure in place already in which all the classroom doors are always locked. In order to go in a closed classroom door, you have to have a key. During the changing of the classes, when the students are fluid, the doors stand open and the students come and go. When class starts, the door closes, and you can't come in unless you have the key or unless you knock. One complication that we did see, that we discussed briefly, was that most of the classroom doors have windows in them. I understand, but I haven't researched yet, the issue of handicapped accessibility of classroom windows. I understand from some conversation that the ADA rules require windows to be low enough for somebody in a wheelchair to see through. If that were the case, that would be offset by simply making the window much narrower rather than higher, and thereby make it harder for somebody to reach through and open the lock should the window be broken out. But again, the issue came up that no intruder has ever breached a locked classroom door, window or no window. So we did have a good meeting with Russell White, and we intend to carry on the conversation with him in the future. The other item I wanted to report is that we're practically in the closing stages of our really active grass violation season. We're down, I believe, now to a handful of violators. By the end of this week, we'll be cutting the grass on the violations, and after that, I expect only one here and one there to come up as we have to get out and take a look at individual circumstances. But another week, and the bad part of that spring duty will be behind us. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam President,
Yes.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Phil and your department for the letter writing on our post office situation on the parking lot. I know you've done a lot of work in the past, and more recently some more letter writing, and I think we have a piece of correspondence tonight that will show some fruits of your labor. So thank you.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Report from Mr. Finance Director, Mitch McHale.
Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roach, and members of council, and esteemed guest. One item tonight. Just wanted to update you on the hiring process for the APAR clerk position. Wound up interviewing 2 additional candidates last week, and was fortunate enough to have a very strong pool of candidates. We identified a candidate that we want to extend an offer to, and we did extend an informal offer and then a formal offer which followed, which has been accepted, pending background checks, those sorts of things. We're looking at having that position filled within the next couple of weeks. So I'm very pleased with how things have gone. I'll keep you appraised as things develop.
Great, thank you. Good news. City Engineer Lee Courtney.
Two small items, Madam President. We have the permanent stripes on Highland Road that have been followed by the roads, crosswalks, stop bars, which will be including plastic. And the contractor also has some bonding issues to deal with where they have flat spots in the asphalt. We'll get to that eventually. It's not even the traffic at this point.
Then we have our Recreation Director, Jessica Gift. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. See, it's the order. I have to do something with my agenda. Okay, so we go, no, I have it mixed up. Oh, I missed you. It's the glasses. I lost my regular glasses, okay?
Okay, that's what it is.
Service Department Director Donald Korniski.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 2 things to report to council. One, this past Friday, we finalized our city contract for our winter salt agreement with the state of Ohio. We ordered 1,000 tons, or at least that's been placed on our order. Resolution was turned in, and they are putting out bids to all the contractors for that agreement, that contract. We will not receive the results until July. I'll wonder at that time what the cost is going to be, which we're all kind of holding our breath. The second thing I would like to let you know is I we did locate some used salt trucks. We were able to locate 4 used trucks in this, Concord Township. 2 of them are Sterlings and 2 of them are Internationals. All 4 of them are in very good shape, operational shape, matter of fact, for us to be using right away this winter. So we will be looking forward to purchasing those at the cost of $70,000 for 4 trucks.
That is fantastic. Now we just need the salt to go with it, right?
Yeah.
Salt's gonna cost more than the truck.
Yes.
The salt will cost more than the trucks, correct. But this is an opportunity that was just too hard to pass up. The trucks have been maintained. I have all the maintenance records. And we went out there personally, my mechanic, myself, and we took all of them apart, looked at them, ran them, drove them, checked out everything. There's a few little minor things, but nothing that's going to stop us from going out there on the road with the kind of plows we wanted, the salt spreaders we wanted, and we'll even switch over one of the salt spreaders that we have into one of these trucks, one of the best ones that we have. So it's a good deal for us, for the city of Richmond.
That's fantastic. You know, I didn't quite understand that long conversation we had that one night. Now I get it. That's great.
And that's all.
Thank you. Yes.
Another thank you. Last Finance Committee meeting, I brought up the point of a large patch that was needed on Richmond Road in front of our post office. And Don and his crew were so kind enough to go out there and work on it. It looks brand new to me. They did an excellent job, so please thank your men and yourself for taking care of this as quickly as you have. And I personally thank you for the residents.
I do too.
That's a question also. Don, if you could please just address for myself and for the other members of council, what the plan is right now as far as chipping goes on the city. I've had a few inquiries already. I've noticed a lot of piles. And just so that we have an idea, so when the questions come up again as to what the current plan is.
Plan is, we don't have a plan. Actually, we tried, our chipping, we tried to do at least once a week. Before the holiday and before the pool opening, we really were in a bind to have enough guys to go out there and do the chipping at least even once a week. We made it a point this week, there was a team out today going through, they'll go out again tomorrow. Basically, we're going to try to get the whole city done this week for sure. And what happens is if we're out there chipping, we need to get enough laces to do it for the whole day. It doesn't help us to go out there for a couple of hours and then have to go through another job. We prefer to keep everybody on landscaping, grass cutting all day long because it just kind of breaks it up if you're going back and forth. I know it's a tough call. I know residents have been calling me and we've been saying the same thing. I would really like to see us, after this winter, focus on community information so that residents can bundle them up and let the trash come up a lot, if possible. It would really help our crew out with that.
And actually, I brought that up to the residents when he called me, and they were disinterested. They were like,
Oh, yes, of course they are.
We'll just let it sit there.
Well, I think one of the things my plan would be to put forth is that we may have some photographs online or whatever, say this is how you line things up. This kind of a bundle needs to be bundled and tied so the trash can take it. Smaller bundles, smaller little twigs. The chipper, it's not made for the chipper. The chipper is for big limbs and that kind of thing. And those things we can handle very, very well. Those things we want to keep out of the trash being picked up. But little bundles of twigs needs to be bundled and so the trash can take it. Because it doesn't go, the small stuff doesn't go through the chipper very well.
And it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
The smaller stuff has more things that can grab onto you versus a log. You can feed a log in from distance.
Sure.
Where the smaller stuff, you have to get in closer, and it is a dangerous operation.
So my goal would be we'd have some photographs, say, hey, this is kind of a thing, you bundle it, throw it in the trash, this kind of thing, line it up on the
Have your guys
side.
been on Fox area? I know there's.
As far as chipper,
Yeah,
I do not know where they ended up today.
I was just saying, you know, I have a neighbor with a bunch of.
Oh, they'll be there. They
My
start
point
on one
is,
end
if
and
you want to
work all the way through.
have your guys tie them up, I'll photograph them, we'll start putting something
Sure.
together, or just give me a call and work out of the house, I can just go right there and take pictures and we can get that going.
Yeah, because there's just as good a thing as, this is not the way to do it, you know?
Sure.
Everything's jumbled up, nothing's lined up, that kind of thing, so those are, this is, you know, don't do this, do this.
We can probably find
This
that
is too
anywhere in
small.
the city, but
Yeah.
the ideal
It's
example.
real
is-
good
It's a PR.
examples.
It's a
Mr.
PR.
O'Toole?
do it.
Yeah.
How
How
about
would you do it on record?
YouTube video?
Sure.
Seriously, I mean. that
Because
was-
you know
that-
what,
that was-
yes, he knows what we would.
Create a YouTube video and answer all their questions and, you know, in a 1-minute YouTube video and.
I think this winter, after the leaf pickup and we get into the snow time, that would be the time to start a PR for the rest of the residents and do everything that we could possibly do to get it out there to them and see what happens in the springtime. It will take a couple of years before residents change their mindset. But any help that we can get from the residents is greatly appreciated by my department. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let me see now. The bad glasses and all that. Now we go to Recreation Director, Jessica Gibb.
Good evening, Madam President, Mayor, Council, audience members. I know the mayor touched on the memorial service that we had on Monday. We would also like to thank Dave's Market for their generous donation. They've donated 4 dozen donuts for us, as well as a very generous food tray. So we'd like to thank them for their donation, as well as both the police and fire departments for their involvement. We are scheduled to open the pool Monday, June 8th. We also plan to have the actual recreation offices here on Saturday, June 6th, open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. For any residents who would like to come and purchase their pool pass for the summer. We're doing this for the residents to have an opportunity to purchase their pass if they work during the week. It's a challenge for them to get to our office hours during 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So we want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to get their pool pass before that pool day opens. So we will be open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday, June 6th, for any residents who would like to come in that Saturday.
Do you know the cost of that pool pass?
I don't have it exactly on me.
I think it's $4.
$4? About? Okay, we'll go at about, in case it's not exact. Is that for one person or?
Oh,
I think that's a
that's
day
just to create the pass. There's a resident, non-resident, family, and all
I
that.
was
Is
thinking
that what
you
you're
had-
saying?
I was wondering what's the cost for a
Oh,
pass?
for a
Yes,
There's a whole list.
okay, so,
Sorry.
yeah, otherwise we'll have droves coming in here to get that
Yeah.
$4 pass.
The ID, the ID
The
itself,
ID.
yeah.
Right.
All right, thank you.
A little more $4.
Okay.
Still affordable.
Right, affordable.
I'm also currently in the process of scheduling interviews for the recreation board positions. I've reached out to all the individuals who've expressed an interest and plan to start the interview process the second week in June. And this is with the assistance of our search committee. And also the board will be planning to meet 1 day a month. So that is definitely moving forward, and we have a lot of interest from the community, so we appreciate these efforts. Also, some of you may have noticed, the recreation department has new uniforms. While attending any city events, programs, or at any time outside of City Hall, our department will be seen in these new uniforms. This was done in an effort to make ourselves available to the residents throughout the community as a point of information and contact for all city services. We hope this can be a way for our residents to easily identify a source of information or assistance and create dialogue about programs and events occurring in the department. So hopefully this will be able to make ourselves identifiable to anyone who has any questions about anything recreation or otherwise. This concludes my report.
Thank you very much. I like your new uniform. Economic Development Director Crystal Best has her children's graduation, and they're being recognized this evening, so she sent an email asking to be excused. Ben figured he'd sit in for her, so he's sitting in for her because he'll be working with her. So, I think most everybody knows Ben Beam is our new intern who will be working with Crystal this summer. I think that pretty much covers it all, unless our audience would like to say anything. All right, then. I move to adjourn the meeting. I'm not done. Oh, I forgot, legislation? Oh,
That's why we're here.
You're having trouble today.
I have an attention problem tonight.
We have no old business, but we
No
do have
old
new
business,
business.
right. Forgot all about your business, I'm sorry. Okay. New business.
Resolution 44, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. A resolution authorizing the Director of Finance to perform certain interfund transfers and declaring an emergency.
Oh, Mr. O'Toole, would you like to comment?
Madam President, yes, I would. Historically, we have made transfers more in a annualized lump sum fashion, and what we're attempting to do this year is to keep our fund balances in a positive as we go along, somewhat on a quarter by quarter basis. And so I would ask Mitch to make a few comments to just add to that.
Yes, sir. That is the goal this year. These are budgeted, I'm sorry, yes, thank you. These are budgeted transfers. We budgeted slightly over $2 million to be transferred into different funds. I'm asking that $575,000 be transferred into various funds at this point to keep the funds at a positive balance. One of the things I'm trying to do is strike a balance between maintaining positive fund balance while not putting so much into the funds that we may not need to, go with the full budgeted amount at the end of the year. So, being conservative, taking, estimating what our immediate needs are and planning accordingly. So,
I move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis? Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Resolution number 44, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution 45, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to hire an intern from Cleveland State University for summer 2015.
Madam President, I'd like the mayor to comment on this because I think this is.
Yeah, I think we've identified an outstanding intern from Cleveland State to help us. He's on limited hours, and we're sharing the expense, the $10 an hour expense with Cleveland State University, and will be recommended.
I move for suspension.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Resolution 45, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution 46, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement with Warren Fire Equipment Incorporated for an oxygen cylinder lift for the Division of Fire and declaring an emergency.
Comments, Mr. O'Toole?
I would like the chairman of the safety committee to comment on this because this really originated in his committee, so. Mr. Lentine?
Thank you. This is a piece of equipment that's going to help our fire department, our men to utilize the gurney or the cot that we use to get in and out of the squad. It's going to be helpful for them to pick up our passengers. Right. Isn't that what we're doing with it? It's an oxygen, but it's a cylinder that lifts up the, what is it for, Chief?
This is oxygen cylinder lift, right?
It's
a lift. It helps lift it.
This particular device lifts the main onboard oxygen cylinder into the back of the ambulance or into the ambulance. The cylinder itself weighs over 120 pounds. This is so the cylinder isn't manually lifted. It's a mechanical jack per se. The beauty of this procurement is that it's 100% grant funded.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Second.
Alexander? Henry?
Yes.
Human?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Human?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 46, 2015 passes unanimously.
Ordinance number 47, 2015, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of $1,190,000 of notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to pay costs of improving streets and roads in the city by constructing, reconstructing, resurfacing, paving with concrete, and making other improvements as designated in the plans approved or to be approved by council as its 2011 road program and declaring an emergency.
Comments, Mr. O'Toole?
Yes, Madam President. This basically is rolling a note for funds that we've expended in the past to basically fix the roads of the city. And the interest rate that we're going to be anticipating rolling it over will be an extremely low interest rate if we're lucky. And basically, as I look at it, it's almost free money in anticipation of at some point down the road turning it into a bond, where then we would be obligated to pay back the amount of money over a 10 or a 15-year or 20-year period. So I would have our finance director make some further comments on it, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. O'Toole. That is essentially correct. This is a rollover of a note that was initially issued in 2011 for the road program. We have rolled this. This will now be the fifth time. This is something that, and you're correct, I can give you an example that last year the note was 0.67%. The plan is to take this out and do an open bid. The notice of sale has actually already gone out. This is a piece of the process of getting that done. We have to have this ordinance authorizing in place, the sale of notes in place, and time is of the essence. We're looking to distribute the information to bidders on June 1st. The note sale will take place on June 9th. We're looking to close this particular note issue and take in the proceeds on the 16th, and the note will be replacing a note which will retire on the 18th. So within the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a very interesting process, and I'll keep you appraised of the situation as we go on.
With that being said, I will move to suspend the rule.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Human?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Human?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Ordinance number 47, 2015 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 48, 2015, introduced by Henry, first reading. A resolution to oppose SB 125 and HB 114, state mandates for using a barricade device on a school door in an emergency situation.
Upon being informed by Chief Seabolt regarding the current legislation to place barricades on schools, I decided that our city and council needed to draw up some legislation on this. And Chief, if you'd like to further comment.
Yes, Madam President, just real briefly, this is just a bill that permits school districts to violate the building and fire codes with devices that are basically not needed in our industry. Proper security can easily be afforded through code-compliant devices, and we're in opposition to this the chief and myself, along with our respective organizations, are in opposition to these new laws, and we're asking support of council to be in opposition with us also.
Thank you, Bill.
Move the suspension.
Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan? Yes. O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Morgan? Yes. O'Toole?
Yes.
All right. Resolution 48, 2015 passes unanimously. We have no additions, but we do have correspondence to be read.
And the first is a letter from Marcia Fudge to Frank Lentine. This is May 18th, 2015. Dear Councilman Lentine, thank you for contacting my office regarding your United States Postal Service USPS issue. On May 16th, I received a letter from the USPS in response to my inquiry on your behalf for casework 000-08280. You may find the response enclosed. I am pleased that I was able to assist you in this matter, and I hope this information addresses your concerns. If you should have any other federally related questions or concerns in the future, please do not hesitate to contact my district office at 216-522-4900 or write to me at www.fudge.house.gov. That was from Marcia Fudge. And this is a letter written by May 13th from Spencer, W. Spencer, the postmaster in Cleveland. This is in response to your email inquiry regarding your constituent Frank Lentine, Councilman Ward 2, City of Richmond Heights, regarding the condition of the Richmond Heights Post Office parking lot and grounds. Please let me apologize for the inconvenience the customers have experienced in this matter. The facility service office that handles major projects relative to our facilities is located in Greensboro, North Carolina. Due to the extensive issues surrounding the Richmond Heights Post Office parking lot and grounds, it is my understanding that our facilities engineer has recommended the area undergo full paving instead of patching of potholes, etc. We are confident the project will be handled timely due to its critical nature. Should Mr. Lentine have additional questions or concerns, he may contact Shirley Franklin, Manager of Customer Services, Richmond Heights Branch, at 216-481-4461. Thank you for your interest on Mr. Lentine's behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Lentine, for all your hard work.
That was a lot of hard work, like I said, from our building department and from many of you on council that's been up here a lot longer than I have been. I think timing was everything, but I'm certainly going to take full credit for it, as most politicians would. But I think this is a great thing. We have a number assigned to it. It's not just lip service. So hopefully we're going to get a new parking lot at our post office, which is...
It says 4.
4?
Yes. Recommended.
You read it the way you want it. I have a number. I'm using it.
We really appreciate you following up on this, Frank.
We do.
Whenever you can. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll invite you all to the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Move to adjourn.
Second. Okay, we're finally adjourned. Meeting adjourned.